Charlemagne, the new natalism. Europe has good and bad reasons for wanting more babies. Policy, Policies to reward fertility can disguise both, both buying or worse. It takes surprisingly a little effort to get a Eurocrat to talk about sex. The European Commission plugs in various programs with cartoons of young people dreaming of meeting hot Spanish ladies and hunky Frenchmen. Spokespeople boast that such liaisons on each Erasmus student exchange have led to 1 million babies. The scheme increased the European libido, said Jean-Claude Juncker, the Luxembourgish former president of European Commission. Umberto Eco, an Italian writer, summed up this trend of thinking about EU. I call it a sexual revolution. Young Catalan man meets a Flemish girl. They fall in love. They get married eventually, and they become European. So do their children. Now, Eurocrats has a new excuse to bring up the topic. Babies, or rather the lack of them. Demographic slumps in Eastern Europe has led to panic among its readers, who are scrambling to come up with ways of boosting baby populations. As summit, EU readers grumble about lousy birth rates, as well as great affairs of the state. Across the bloc, women can expected to have an average of 1.6 babies each, as few as 1.3 in some countries. That leaves Europe with the two populations to maintain its population exact absent emigrations. After years of nagging from Eastern member states, the topic was placed on European Council's strategic agenda for the next 5 years. For the first time, the issue of demography has its own dedicated commissioner in Brussels, who will look at ways to make life easier for families. Natalism, where the states try to increase birth rate, is back. The new natalism is most pronounced in Europe, where toddler production strategies are the new tractor production statistics. At one event, Croatia Prime Minister boasted that his countrywomen had generated 900 more baby crutch than the year before. Politicians compete to offer widely generous schemes to new parents. Croatia offers 18 months of paid parental leave. Poland dishes out 500 zloty, about €112 per month for each child after the first, meaning the parents with 3 would live the equivalent of the nearly half of the minimum wage. In Hungary, mother of 4 are exempt from income tax for life, and the government is considering expanding the benefit the mother of 3. Having more babies is one area where Eastern and Western Europe can agree. French governments have always showered parents with goodies, ranging from cash benefits through medal for those with 4 or more children. Germany is a more recent convert, boosting spending on welfare for parents and state-sponsored childcare for the past 2 decades. Over the past 2 decades, the minister who oversaw that transformation was Ursula von der Leyen, now President of European Commission and the mother of 7, as her Twitter proudly notes. In some ways, the baby policy bonanza is nothing new. Natalism has a long history in Europe, but not happy one. The Roman banned childless women over the age of 24 from wearing precious metals, while single men paid the bachelor tax. In 17th century France, anyone who married before the age of 20 was exempt from tax until they are 25. In the interwar period, German and Italian fascists were the most enthusiastic natalists. Go back home and tell the woman I need many births. Benito Mussolini, the Italian dictator, told women's groups. After the war, most European governments understandably skirted the topic. Natalism schemes do not bear well. Governments all of bands, whether totalitarian or democratic, failed to boost birth rates. In the run-up to the Second World War, Yet, the more laissez-faire approach after the war coincided with the baby boom. No one decided to have another child for 500 euro. Point out Richard Tongman, the author of Nationalizing Sex, Fertility, Fear, and Power. On account of government's often crack-handed attempt to control breeding. Even schemes that do work, such as providing childcare to help parents rejoin workplace, have only a modest effect on the number of children. For the most part, governments throw money at people who would have had offspring anyway. Fear has played a large role in digging the state back into the bedroom. Demography is a canvas onto which politicians can paint their deepest worries. For those in the Western Europe, the fear is economic. With productivity goes low, welfare states need to generate more young workers to fund themselves, lest they collapsed the population-based Ponzi scheme. Further east, the fear is around identity. Some nationalists worries that the low birth rates, coupled with the immigration of natives and immigration of newcomers, can change the character of their nations. Change the essential character of their nations. We will be effectively consenting to process in which the European population is replaced, declared Viktor Orban, the Hungarian premier, at the Democratic Conference, echoing xenophobic conspiracy theory. In this, Mr. Orban and his kind resemble the eugenists of the early 20th century who worried the superior races, meaning European, were doomed.